has been the hottest area for the last decade or more.
Wow.
Diseases like anxiety and depression, cancer, autism, Parkinson's are all related to the gut.
People are confused about what to eat because it's made to look healthy.
ホットドッグ1本どれぐらいファイバーあるか。0グラム
It would be awesome if I could understand what's happening in my own body.
Western diet, antibiotics, maybe pushing us towards our most common and serious diseases.
What in the world y'all eating that I'm not eating that cause y'all lose weight and not me?
We're trying to understand what's going on with all this variance that makes people different. We think the microbiome is key to that. Everybody has a unique microbiome.
It is the missing part of the puzzle.
And if you just look at the gut, all this gets much easier to understand.
There are two concepts that drive our passion and the Love Biome opportunity. Number one, plant life gives life. Number two, the power of one. In the early days of Love Biome, our only purpose was to discover plants. We evaluated and studied plants from around the world, from the remote islands of the South Pacific to the organic family farms of North America to the slopes of the Himalayas. We made so many amazing discoveries, and we were blown away by the life-giving power of plants. And yet we lacked the crucial connecting thread that would bind all of these ingredients together. During this evaluation, we were consumed with the question, is there one thing I can do every day to reach optimal health? There are so many pills and powders and supplements all over our shelves. How can we simplify this confusing mess we call health and wellness? On one hand, we believed in the power of plants. Plant life gives life. On the other, we searched for the power of one thing we can do every day to reach optimal health. We knew that if we could somehow connect these two principles, the result would be powerful. And we did. We connected the power of plants to the comprehensive health and wellness through the microbiome. Through our research, we discovered that microbiome health holds the key to proper function and structure of every system of the body. I'd like to invite you to discover the era of the microbiome with us. Continue this onboarding series to learn more about microbiome health and exactly how we're addressing it with our innovative products. By connecting these two powerful concepts, we have unlocked limitless potential for growth in this new era of discovery.
Good evening, good afternoon, wherever you're calling in from around the world. My name is Angela Batiste, and I'm calling in from London in the UK, and I'm your co-host for this evening. We're going to share some powerful, life-changing, possibly even life-saving information with you this evening. So I suggest you put all distractions aside and get a pen and paper so that you can take some notes. There'll also be an opportunity to ask any questions that you may have at the end of the presentation. The person that I'm about to introduce you to this evening, I have a tremendous amount of respect for this lady. She has a corporate banking background, but is additionally an expert in the field of nutrition and the wellness industry in general. She's a powerful orator and is extremely knowledgeable about our products. In fact, she has reached the very top elite position in our company, and she did it in the record time of 4 weeks. How did she do that, you may well ask? Well, she did it because she is passionate about helping a lot of people achieve their health goals and by helping a lot of people achieve their financial goals. And this passion has allowed her to become a documented millionaire with our company, Love Biome. I recently had the pleasure of spending some time with this lady at our corporate headquarters in Utah in the US, where we were trained extensively by the founders and hosted in total luxury. And we had a lot of fun in the process because this lady has a very witty sense of humor and she gave us laughter that I took back to London with me. So without further ado, let me introduce you to Mrs. Valencia Panfil. Mrs. Panfil, are you there?
I absolutely am here, Miss Angela Baptiste, and I thank you. I'm just so grateful for the introduction, all the accolades, all the great things you said about me. I completely appreciate it, but I have to let you know it is 100% reciprocal. For everyone who's listening for the first time, Miss Angela Baptiste was an individual who I met, and she instantly gravitated to this message because of her expertise in the field. And it speaks volumes to what it is that we're going to share, because it does attract some of the brightest minds in the world. The information that we're going to share will resonate with everyone. And I'm so grateful that Ms. Angela Baptiste not only heard it, not only accepted it for herself, but then she's taken on the responsibility of leading the expansion throughout the entire world. So Miss Angela Baptiste, I totally, completely appreciate being in business with you, and thank you for all that you do. I also want to acknowledge one of my other co-hosts, Miss Marie Washington. She is an integral part of every presentation. She's behind the scenes, but she does a lot to validate and to give you the confidence and the conviction that what you're hearing is absolutely true. So I'm going to get right into the conversation. As I said, it applies to all of us. You may not have heard the opening video that talked about our health. It was a trailer of a movie that's on Netflix right now, but we're going to make it our own. The message they shared is the exact same message we're sharing with each and every one of you. Now, we're in 2025, we're in the 14th day of the year, and at the beginning of every year, people make resolutions, and there's two that everyone adds to the list. They want to be healthy, and they want to create additional income. They want to be financially free. Now, with the information we're going to share, 2025 could be your healthiest year yet, but it could also be your wealthiest year yet. So as they say, strap in, get ready to hear some information that is applicable to everyone listening. And not just to you, it's applicable to everyone you know. So I have the opportunity to talk about where we are in the stream of time, what life is like for most people today. When you look at this picture, it represents the modern day lifestyle, but it especially represents my former lifestyle. You look at these people, they don't really look happy. They look like they're maybe engaged in a commute. They're probably headed to their office to do whatever job that they have. Now, that was me. I spent 15 years in corporate America, and I thought I was building the perfect future for myself. But it turned into a 6-hour nightmare because I had to commute. I commuted 3 hours to work. I got up before the sun rose just to get to work. And then I commuted 3 hours back home. And with that as a backdrop, you know, I had no life. I had absolutely no time to do the things that were important to me. I didn't have time to entertain. I didn't have time to do the things that make life enjoyable. And so many people are in this situation. Now, not just the commute, they're just engaged in being overworked and underpaid. And when you're in that state, the last thing that we probably give attention to is our health. Self-care falls into the trap of, I just don't have time. People are stressed out. They're feeling the pain of the higher cost of living all over the world, and they're doing everything they can. And even with everything they're doing, the wages are not catching up. So what's the result? People are too busy to take care of themselves. And here's a statistic that really drives that point home. If you line up any 10 individuals in the United States, any 10, 6 of the 10 will have one of the chronic diseases that you see on the screen. Heart disease, cancer, chronic lung disease, stroke, Alzheimer's, diabetes, or chronic kidney disease. 6 in 10, that's more than half. And it's not like the number's going down, it's actually going up. Now, it gets worse because 4 of the 10 will have 2 or more of these diseases. Now, how do we know that to be true? Well, if we were all in the same room and I said, raise your hand if you know someone that has diabetes, every hand goes up. Raise your hand if you know someone who's taking care of an elderly parent or relative that's dealing with Alzheimer's or dementia, every hand goes up. Raise your hand if you know somebody that has cancer, every hand goes up. And it's not just the United States. Chronic disease kills 71% or represents 71% of all the deaths around the globe every single year. And at least 1/3 of Europeans have a chronic condition. So let's put it into perspective. in the next 60 seconds that I talk to you, when it comes to heart disease, 33 people will die from heart disease in this 60-second time frame. And then when you go to brain injuries, brain bleeds, aneurysms, and strokes, 21 persons will die in the very same 60 seconds that 33 people die from heart disease. Then you add 19 people who are dying from the various forms of cancer: prostate cancer, lung cancer, breast cancer, ovarian cancer. The list goes on and on. 19 people will die from cancer in that exact same 60 seconds. And then when it comes to diabetes, 2.85 persons will die from diabetes. Now, a lot of people say, oh, I have diabetes, and they think it's just a disease, but you'll still have the length of your life. The truth is, people die from diabetes. And here's one that'll pull your heartstrings. 11 children under the age of 15 will die from preventable disease every single minute. Now, I touched on some of the chronic diseases, but look at what else we're dealing with. Obesity is at an all-time high. Maybe it even affects you. The saddest part of obesity is because of the things that we're putting in our body, you now have children who are obese. And obesity is not just something that has to do with how you look. It's all about your health. How likely are you? It creates a propensity to getting some of the other diseases. Here's something else. People right now that are always tired. They have no energy. They're living on caffeine. They're living on Monster and Red Bull and the 5-hour energy shots. And then you have people who are depressed. Now, that word sometimes doesn't really highlight the seriousness of it. It's not just having a bad day. It's living day after day after day in a state of depression. In fact, mental health is in crisis. Suicide is up because people are just, from a health perspective, it's very real. Some people can't even get out of the bed. They don't know what to do. Then you have problems like menopause. A lot of people don't understand it. Maybe you haven't reached that age yet, but it creates real serious things that impact your life. The sweats, having a fan every single day, the night sweats where, your sheets are completely wet. How about sexual issues, low libido, not being able to get an erection? All of these things impact people's health. So what's the solution? Better yet, is there a solution? Now, we've become very commonplace with the diseases and the situations that we're talking about, but is there anything we can do? Well, what we know to do is go to the doctor. He says, how are you doing? He pulls out his pad. He writes you a script for a pill. There is a pill for every ill. But I want you to just think for a minute. The pills do not solve the problem. If you have problems sleeping, the pill doesn't address what caused the sleeping issue. It just alleviates some of the situations that you may have to deal with, the symptoms you're going through. Same thing when it comes to, joint pain and things of that nature. You go to the doctor, they may give you something to numb the pain, but they don't give you something to address the real issue. And that doesn't even address the cost of healthcare. When I think about all the pills that we all are used to receiving every single day, why are they giving them to us if, in fact, they don't do anything to cure or solve the problem? Well, could it be that it's just a money-making machine? The pharmaceutical industry last year in 2023, actually, I now have to say 2 years ago, created $1.6 trillion. $1.6 trillion, and yet and still they didn't cure a disease. Here's a quote that may make you think. Big pharma, or the pharmaceutical companies, they need people to be sick. Patients, not healthy people, are their customers. So if everyone was cured of a particular illness or disease, the pharmaceutical companies would lose all of their profits. So if everybody was cured of cancer, if everybody was cured of diabetes, if everybody was cured of obesity, look at all the money they lose. So we really are living in a sickness industry, not a health industry. That's like, things that make you go, there has to be another way. There has to be a solution for the modern lifestyle for our health, because in fact, our health is in danger. Think about that. Your health is in danger. And when you're in danger, you look for something you can do to get out of that situation. And I want to introduce you to the solution. The era of the microbiome. Now, if you've never heard that word, that's something you want to jot down because you will thoroughly understand it today. The name of our company is Love Biome. And as a company, we were driven to answer the question, is there one thing everyone can focus on every day to achieve optimal health? So if someone said to you, there's one thing you could do to achieve optimal health, normal, intelligent people are going to say, what is it? The other question that we asked is there something we can do to help individuals financially, to help them literally become financially free? And happily, I can tell you the answer to both questions is yes. But it starts with us discovering our microbiome. Our mission is to help people live full, healthy, and happy lives by harnessing the power of symbiotics, which we'll explain, to create products that feed, diversify, and detoxify the human microbiome. So the question is, what is our microbiome? And that's what we're going to share. Number one, we're going to create an awareness to help people understand that the microbiome is your center of health. That in fact, your immune system, the part of your body that keeps you healthy, it is housed in your microbiome, 70 to 80% of it. And then we're going to share that what has happened to our microbiomes has created something called dysbiosis. It's been influenced by the things we consume on a regular basis. We're going to talk about how dysbiosis happens. And then lastly, what can we do to improve our situation and to share it with people that we love? All across every age group, you have individuals who are sharing testimonials that will impress you, that they are getting back to that street on the corner of healthy and happy. So let's get into our discussion. Let's start with, what is your microbiome? Now, I said it earlier, it's the center of health in your body. Here's a visual. It's also very commonly called your gut. But if you understand it, the gut is where the microbiome is housed. It has connectivity to the entire body, to all of your major organs, your cells, your tissues, your systems. Everything is intrinsically connected to your microbiome. So what is it? It consists of 100 trillion, with a TR, 100 trillion microbial cells that run the human body. Everything that we do on autopilot, just understand there are systems in place that make that happen. 100 trillion microbial cells, 70 to 80% of your immune system, as I mentioned, 95% of what makes you happy. You know, there's a hormone called serotonin. They call it the feel-good hormone. It is produced in your microbiome. And then there's a vitamin factory inside your microbiome. Now, you know what's interesting? So many people never even knew they had a microbiome. In that opening video, that was the trailer from Netflix, the young lady said, I wish I just understood how my human body works. And there's so many of us who feel the same way, but today you're going to understand it. You have a microbiome. It's the center of your health, and it's full of 100 trillion or more microbial cells. Now, when you look at or start to understand the microbiome, you'll recognize that it connects to everything. Those 100 trillion microbial cells connect to all your bodily systems. There's the gut-brain axis. And so if you think about that, the microbiome controls your stress, your anxiety, autism, dementia. You have the gut endocrine axis that controls the hormonal disorders like menopause, the gut heart, hypertension, high blood pressure, cardiovascular issues, the gut lungs, COPD, the gut pancreas. This is a cause very close to my heart. Diabetes has everything to do with which of these microbial cells are controlling what should be going on in the pancreas, and are the right ones in place. You have the gut muscle, the gut skin, acne, psoriasis, dermatitis, eczema. You have the gut reproductive, the infertility that people deal with, cancer, postmenopausal osteoporosis, and then the gut kidney. That's another cause close to my heart. I have so many family members that have been on dialysis, neuropathy that they experience, sometimes even from diabetes. Now, all these 100 trillion microbial cells, they control us. When they are not marching in the right way, or the right ones are not in place, you have something called dysbiosis. And dysbiosis creates or causes the multiple of ailments that so many of us and the people we love are suffering from. This one slide represents a discovery for so many people that I have a microbiome, 100 trillion microbial cells, and that all of it connects to every organ in my body. So question number 2 is, so why is this important to me? Hippocrates, who is considered the father of medicine, he gave you the reason. He said, all disease begins in the gut. He said this almost 3,000 years ago. Hippocrates, if you know anyone, at least in the US, they have to take the Hippocratic oath when they become a doctor. So that's why he is the father of medicine. But now you can go online, you can find charts like this, and you will see that the commonality between all the diseases, from mental health to autism to arthritis to kidney disease to diabetes to aging to allergies, whatever it may be, even obesity and bad sleep and depression, the commonality is the origin. They all start in that center of health. Like, who knew that arthritis, maybe it's in your knee, that it started in your microbiome? Who knew that the acne that pops out on your face, that it starts in the microbiome? But now we know. Now, so far, I talked about all the negative things, all the diseases and the health conditions. But think of it this way. If you want to be happy, it's also in your gut microbiome. If you want to feel good, if you don't want to be a moody person, there are people who are moody and you say, what's wrong? They go, I don't know. They really don't. It's in their microbiome. If you want to get a good night's sleep and wake up ready to take on the next day, it has everything to do with your microbiome. It can reduce the risk of food sensitivities. Every time you go to a restaurant today, first thing the waiter says, does anybody here have any food allergies? Because it's becoming so commonplace. You meet so many people today who want to eat gluten-free or they have celiac disease. And by the way, a lot of these diseases that people are experiencing today, they're new. They're just discovering them. If you want to be happy, and again, every intelligent person wants to, it has everything to do with the microbiome. Now, the vast majority of the 100 trillion cells that are in your microbiome, the vast majority of them are good. And they take care of us. Every now and then you have bad ones. The problem today is with dysbiosis, people have more bad than good. How did that happen? How did dysbiosis come about? We're going to talk about that. Now, I gave you, and I said these things really emphatically and dogmatic. I gave you a lot of information, but why should you believe me? Well, you can Google it for yourself. You can go on ChatGPT, take any diagnosis that the doctor has ever given you, take any condition that you feel, anything someone you love is dealing with, anything someone you love maybe passed away from. Type in your search bar, whatever that condition is, add the words and gut microbiome, and you're going to find scholarly, peer-reviewed, clinically tested information. Marie Washington usually puts things in the chat that give you that kind of detail so you can feel confident about it. I'm just showing you a sampling. I went on Google and I looked up diabetes in the gut microbiome, hypertension, sleep apnea, autism. So many children now are being placed on the spectrum. Mental health, we talked about how bad it is. Obesity, who knew that it didn't just have to do with food, it had to do with all of those microorganisms in your body. Prostate cancer, sexual issues, they all have to do with the microbiome. When it comes to your happiness, you can even put that in there. Happiness in the gut microbiome and how you look, it all has to do with the microbiome. So that means that as intelligent people, we want to understand, how do I take care of my microbiome? And when I do, what's going to happen? In short, every physiological system in your body is impacted, again, because it is the center of health. Think of any catastrophe or any major situation that's going on. There is a central place that all the brightest minds gather and they take care of everything. Well, your microbiome is that center in your body, and it connects to all of the organs that you see here. Now, this is a very different way to take care of your health than what the medical field does. They isolate our organs and they treat them as they're fragmented pieces of the human body. So if you have issues in the female arena, you go to a gynecologist. If you have cancer, you go to an oncologist. If you have kidney problems, you go to a nephrologist. If you have diabetes, you go to an endocrinologist. Recently I went to an ophthalmologist and he was saying how specialized they're becoming, that soon you'll have a doctor with an IST at the end that only treats the right eye, and then you'll have one that treats the left eye. They treat us like we're fragmented, like we're not a human being. But when you treat the microbiome, you take care of the person and you help the microbiome to keep a person healthy. Let's talk about just one organ, the brain. We all view that as one of the most important, if not the most important organ that we have. Did you know the communication between your microbiome and your brain is significant all day long? Minute after minute, second after second, they're talking to each other. The brain says something and the microbiome responds. They talk to each other more than most people ever recognize. That communication is running the body. They're actually connected by something called the vagus nerve. And that communication is so significant that now science says we don't have one brain, which we all knew was in our head. We actually have two. We have the brain in our head, and then we have a second brain, and it's right there where the microbiome is. Now, here's an article that substantiates that. It says, with a sophisticated neural network transmitting messages from trillions of bacteria, the brain in your gut exerts a powerful influence over the one in your head. Now, I think intuitively we knew that. How many of you have ever said, I don't know what to do, but my gut is telling me to do this or that? Or, I don't know, but I'm going to trust my gut. Or I have a gut feeling. Well, now you understand it. Your gut does have intuition, and it does talk to your brain and causes you to act a certain way. Have you ever not knew what was going on, but you had butterflies in your stomach, like something's not right? That's your gut talking to your brain. So how you sleep, your mood, your happiness is all connected. When you take care of your microbiome, you become a healthier and you become a happier person. You age gracefully. And truth be told, that's what we all want. I always say people don't mind getting older. They just don't want to get old. So now you know how important the microbiome is. Everything about your health is housed in that microbiome, and it has the responsibility to keep you healthy. We are a company who's helping people become aware of it. So not like pills that just, make the symptoms go away, but don't address the problem. That's what Band-Aids do. You just kind of cover up the problem. We want to help individuals take care of their microbiome so they can also prevent the problem. You don't have to get sick to care about sickness. You have to care about your health. You have to shift your paradigm to a before I get sick, before disease impacts me. Now, if in fact it has already impacted you, taking care of your microbiome can help you get back to healthy. And that's what everyone wants. We want to prevent you from falling in the first place. Learning about your microbiome gives you that knowledge. So the next question is, how do I take care of it? Hippocrates, he gave us the answer. He said, let food be thy medicine and medicine be thy food. Sounds really simple. So you think, okay, well, let me go eat. The question is, eat what? This food that you see here, which is called the standard American diet or the SAD diet or the Western diet, because the whole world eats like this, it is nutritionally bankrupt and it contributes to the dysbiosis. The foods that you get fast, the foods that are convenient, the foods that are not even foods that we call food. It may be something that you can look up. What is food? Because there's a lot of things that we consume in our bodies that have absolutely no nutritional value. We eat processed foods and ultra processed foods, sugar loaded foods, addictive foods, or hyper palatable foods, bioengineered foods. Look at some of the labels, at least in the US, you'll see it. It says produced with genetic engineering. What does that mean? It means it has nothing to do with nature. It's created in a lab, but it's in so many of the foods, the addictive and hyper palatable foods. Think about potato chips. How many of you have ever heard the slogan, I bet you can't eat just one? They knew that. They made the foods hyper palatable, meaning that you crave them, they become addictive, and they give you this artificially rewarding experience so that you can't stop. Before you know it, you ate one Oreo, and next thing you know, the whole sleeve is gone. And then you crave it again tomorrow. That's why we're in danger. Our food supply is creating the dysbiosis in our guts. It's not the only thing, but listen to this video that show where our food supply is going when it comes to meat.
Soon, the entire world will start eating meat printed by a printer, and we won't even be able to tell if it's real meat or not. This isn't a plot from Black Mirror, it's our reality unfolding. Here's why printed meat resembles real meat so closely. The 3D printers use special bio-inks to create it. These bio-inks are actually made from stem cells extracted from different animals depending on the desired type of meat: beef, pork, poultry, or even fish. In a laboratory, these cells then multiply, interact, and differentiate into the fat and muscle cells that make up bio-ink. These bio-inks are then intricately layered by specialized 3D printers to construct meat products that closely mimic the texture, taste, and nutritional composition of traditional meats. This is identical to real beef, and when it is ready and served, even the smell is the same. Scientists claim that by using this technology, the environmental impact associated with conventional livestock farming will be greatly reduced. So would you eat?
So I'll ask you, would you eat meat that is printed with bio-ink that you can't even tell really had nothing to do with, the cow or whatever type of meat, the chicken? Would you eat it? Well, a lot of you would say right now, absolutely not. And you may think this is futuristic. It's already been approved to be served in so many restaurants. At least in America, the FDA has approved such things. And you wonder why we're in a state of dysbiosis? In fact, if you want to know where dysbiosis comes from, it tells you prolonged antibiotic use. So the pharmaceutical companies and the pills that they give, antibiotic. Think about it. Anti against biotic life. That's what it does. It really hinders our ability to live a good life. And then poor diet containing highly processed foods and refined sugars. The things you see, these are the things that are creating the dysbiosis that are making us sick, that are putting us in danger. So what's the alternative? Plant life. Plant life gives life. And as a company, Love Biome has a commitment to use the power of nature, things that grow from the ground, from the soil, for complete and thorough microbiome care. And all of our products across all of our brands use plant life. We want to move you from an era of confusion and pharmaceutical drugs back to an era of nature and taking care of your microbiome. So let me share with you something that I believe should be part of everyone's daily routine. It's called the Daily 3. You can call it the Gut Power Pack. 2 sips and a rip. That's really what it is. You can see the stamps of approval: no additives, 100% vegan, USDA organic, gluten-free, 100% plant-based, no added sugars, non-GMO, glyphosate-free. And the way to really appreciate it is to understand each of the components. It starts with 2 bottles. The red is called Balance, and the screen tells you it uses the most potent superfoods found in nature to strengthen, nourish, and diversify our gut microbiomes. Diversity is key. So if you're a person who just eats, salads and everything is green, you still will not have a balanced microbiome. You need all the colors of nature. So there's diversity. It also uses noni. And noni is the world's most miraculous treasure, one of them. And I will tell you, I fell in love with noni back in 2006. But now they know when you ferment noni, it's even more efficacious than noni by itself. So if you already know about noni and you're a noni user, now you know red light fermented noni is even better for you. And it is patented and proprietary. The only place to get it is with our company. So you take an ounce of the Balance and you get the things that I shared with you. Then you have the purple, which is called Detox. So in your body, you have good microorganisms, but you also have bad. The key is to get the bad out naturally and safely as quickly as possible. Now, this gives us an opportunity to talk about something that adults don't usually sit around and talk about, and that's excrement. Going to the bathroom completely is very important. Going daily is important. There's so many people today who are backed up. They even say there are people who go once a week, once every 3 weeks. It is very unhealthy. Once every 3 days. What happens is that excrement can harden inside the path that it has to go down your intestines. And the layer, the lining of your large intestine is 1 cell layer thin. And you know what happens? As it hardens, it rips holes in that lining. And the bad bacteria, it seeps out into the bloodstream and it creates or wreaks havoc on the body. In fact, you could be responsible for poisoning yourself. Like none of us would sit around and drink poison. But if you don't detox thoroughly, you literally are poisoning yourself. It's called auto intoxication, and you can be creating your health issues. So this detox uses the natural circadian rhythm. It's not a laxative. You don't have to sit near a toilet, but it helps you to go and be regular. Very important, use in nature. And then we have the third prong, which is a powerhouse. It's called PhytoPower. It comes in these little sachets. You mix it with 8 to 10 ounces of water, and you consume it every day. There's nothing in the world like PhytoPower. No other product or system in existence features a more potent blend of prebiotics, probiotics, postbiotics, digestive enzymes, and fruits and vegetables of various colors. Now, many of us don't know, we may have heard of probiotics, but we may not know what prebiotics and postbiotics are, but I'll share it with you very quickly. But what do you get in that sachet? You get 40 different fruits and vegetables, 10 from every color group. So you get your greens, your kale, your leek and spinach and all of that. But you also get your reds, the cranberries and the tomatoes and the raspberries. You get your orange and yellows, the pumpkins and papayas and things of that nature. And then you get your blues and purples. If you can read the box, it tells you everything was collected in sustainably and naturally. No GMOs, no pesticides, herbicides, no artificial flavors, sweeteners, preservatives, or colors. You'd be hard pressed to find a product that can even put that on their box. 0 gluten, dairy, corn, egg, peanuts, no animal byproducts, no lactose, sucrose, or dextrose, no added sugar, and it's good for every lifestyle. So just from the box, you know how good it is. Imagine getting that every single day. Some of you would say, well, I try to eat healthy. And you think about your plate. Does it have all the colors? Are you eating the rainbow every single day? Very few, if any, are. You get all the enzymes that the body needs to break down food. There's so many people who are lactose intolerant. So in order to eat ice cream, they have to take a pill. Well, all the enzymes that may be missing. And then you get this powerful, full spectrum probiotic. Now, if you're into health, you've probably already taken a probiotic, but there's a difference in taking a probiotic and a full spectrum probiotic. It has 8 different strains that do different things. We take this information about probiotics and prebiotics very, very seriously. In fact, they have discovered over 5,000 strains and what they do, and we are pioneering a way to use specific strains to target individual systems and functions in the body. Now, I mentioned I would explain probiotics, prebiotics, and postbiotics. Pretty simple science lesson. The probiotic is the live bacterial strain. And in order for it to remain, it has to eat, it has to stay alive. The prebiotic is the ingredients that that individual probiotic eats. And when the probiotic eats the prebiotic, it produces a postbiotic, or you may be familiar with the term short-chain fatty acids. And those short-chain fatty acids repair, strengthen, and build our bodily functions. So that's a quick science lesson, but I'm going to take it a step further to show you how we use specific, targeted bacterial strains with precision to address the individual situations you may be going through. So maybe you're dealing with, you can't sleep at night. How about PhytoPower C? It promotes calm. It tells the body to go to sleep. It helps you to deal with stress. It works with the gut-brain axis. It's an amazing product, and it uses 3 different targeted probiotics. You've heard of lactobacillus, but there are names after that: Acidophilus, Kasai, Bifidobacterium breve. When it comes to immunity, with all of the flus and the viruses and COVID, and now they have 3 more that they're talking about, we all need to build up our immune system. You want to get it so strong that when the virus comes your way, it bounces off like you have on an Iron Man suit. 6 different strains of targeted probiotics. If you need energy, you don't have to use Monster and Red Bull. Mix it with water, 3 different targeted strains of bacteria to give you energy. In fact, energy is produced in your microbiome. If you need extreme energy, maybe you go to the gym or you work and you use a lot of energy, well, use this. It uses natural caffeine, an exclusive adaptogenic mushroom blend. A lot of you know mushrooms are good for you. It also has all of the B vitamins that you need and 100% of what you need, if not more. It's all methylated so that when you mix it with water, it is immediately available to the body. And look at what it does. Protects the brain, relieves fatigue, detoxes the body, resets the sleep schedule, treats cancer, influences genetic expression, improves mood, reduces nerve pain, improves exercise performance, anti-aging properties, and it enhances sex drive. We're getting so many testimonials from men that this product has been amazing for them in that area of life. It supports heart health, but it goes even further than that. It's clinically proven targeted probiotics. So you don't have to worry about whether this stuff is real. We have the clinical trials. This is not subject to debate or opinion. If somebody says to me, I don't believe it, it doesn't change the factualness. The fact that it's been clinically tested and we're able to say it on labels tells you how good it is, and it's all coming from nature. When it comes to hydration, 75% of every adult walking around in the United States is dehydrated, and they don't even know it. And if you were to tell them, they would say, oh, let me drink water. You need more than water. You need electrolytes, sodium, calcium, potassium, and magnesium. You mix it with water, and you're getting all of that. All of these targeted probiotics you mix with 16 ounces of water, and they taste amazing. If you're in the battle of the bulge, Phytopower W uses lactose bacillus gasseri. There are clinical trials performed outside of our company that you can see on Google that show that people not only lose weight, they lose belly fat as well. Phytopower T is especially designed using thermogenesis, 3 different targeted probiotics to really impact that belly fat. And then you have Phytopower B. I think everyone listening, you have to. Not you should, you have to use Phytopower B. It's the most impressive collection of carbs, starch, and sugar blocking ingredients on the planet. Why do you need to get rid of sugar? Because nothing impacts or disrupts your microbiome more than sugar. Sugar feeds the bad bacteria and it interferes with the population of the good bacteria. But look what else it does. Too much sugar in the brain, you're going to have dementia. In a child's brain, ADHD. In your teeth, you'll live at the dentist. In your blood, you're going to have diabetes. In your eyes, glaucoma and blindness. On your skin, you're going to look older than you should. Cancer feeds on sugar, and even your reproductive organs are impacted. It uses nature to block the absorption of sugar. Up to 60 or more % of the sugar that you consume will never impact your body. Why do we eat it when we know it's so bad? We're addicts. It is more addictive than cocaine and heroin. And people think it's just in the chocolates and the cupcakes and so forth. So much more than that. Sugar is in nearly everything you drink. If you have a 20-ounce soda, you are eating 16 teaspoons of sugar. McDonald's fries, a medium, 23 teaspoons of sugar. Ketchup, barbecue sauce, mayonnaise, they're all sugar loaded. Sugar is ruining marriages. Men can't get erections. It's lowering the testosterone levels and everything else people deal with. High blood pressure, inflammation, weight gain, diabetes, fatty liver, all directly linked to this thing that we have come to love called sugar. We also have a product for your skin using nature to deal with the skin microbiome, to fight acne and reduce inflammation and to heal your cuts and scrapes. I'll share my testimonial along that line. But the products are just using nature. Change one thing and you change everything. The documentation is so strong. As I said, nothing that I've shared with you can be argued with. It's been on television. And from the moment you start using it, your entire family can share their results, men, women, and children. You're going to feel less stress. Your sleep improves. Yet your skin looks better. Your cravings reduce. And so many people have had weight release. When you look on this screen, you see so many different things that have been impacted by taking care of your microbiome. Dr. Tamia Bethia Williams, an amazing leader who is sharing this information all across the globe, Dr. Tamia reduced 97 pounds. But she also was able to give up antidepressants and also give up Ambien, sleep medication. Cynthia Craig deals with rheumatoid arthritis, autoimmune disease. We have individuals who are dealing with fibromyalgia and lupus and Graves' disease and all those diseases that doctors really don't understand, so they put under the umbrella of autoimmune. She was taking 53 pills and tinctures every single day, not to mention the cost. She started using the Daily 3 and she's gotten back to a level of life that she hadn't experienced. She was basically bedridden. And just yesterday I was with her and she was walking without a cane. So I can tell you, I've watched people that I know and love and care about be impacted. I mentioned my testimonial. My hot water heater went out. And so I had to go back to doing what people used to do. We had to boil water for a day or so. And as I was pouring it into the sink, I poured it in on my hand. And when I tell you that sting was unbearable, and it didn't go away just because time passed. It was there. And I saw my body souffle on my counter. I rubbed it in and instantly, and I don't have to impress you, instantly the sting went away. I didn't have any blistering. I didn't have any discoloration. I'm looking at it right now just because of nature, natural things. I think it probably was the aloe vera or the cone flower or the elderberry, whichever one, but it impacted my skin. And everybody has a testimonial that will impress you about how this product has impacted them. And toward the end, I'm going to give you an opportunity to hear from them. So how do you get the product? Just talk with the person who invited you, consult with them, find out where your targeted areas are. Now, all of us, every one of us can use this Daily 3. Everyone should. But then there are the specific issues. If you're dealing with weight, the W, the T, and the B, the E or the X, the C if you're not sleeping, the, the hydration, and then the I. And we have information on all of the products. Again, you're making one simple change. You can pay full price. I don't know why you would. Or you can package it, have a consult, and you can get a better price by agreeing to use the product. There's no risk to you. There's a money back guarantee. Now I want to switch gears, and this is only going to take 5 minutes because I want individuals to understand we need to get this information to every single person. And that leads you to an opportunity to really create financial freedom. And this blurs the lines for some people. Our messages take care of your health. But if you, and most of you may not be those people, but if you want to also increase your financial freedom, these next 5 minutes are for you, because sharing this message can lead you to that place. The information about the microbiome is real. The industries are approaching $1 trillion. Imagine if you could have a stream of that income coming into your house. Well, what do? You share it the same way you share good things about anything. If you go to a good movie, you tell your friend. If you go to a good restaurant, you tell your friend. Some of them go to the movie. So you will have your own business, kind of in the gig economy where you don't have a boss. You work when you want to. If you want to, you can create as much or as little as you want. You may just want to pay a car note, or maybe you want wealth outside of traditional mechanisms. Rather than me tell you the compensation plan, listen as the president of our company takes 3 minutes to give you 6 reasons why we have the best compensation in the industry. Take a listen.
Hello, everybody. My name is Sean Whitney. I'm the president and one of the co-founders of Love Biome. Today, I wanted to just spend a few minutes with you and explain to you why we have the best compensation plan in the industry, bar none. In fact, our plan is so good that I guarantee that for the same time and the same effort, you will earn more money in Love Biome than any other opportunity that you could be pursuing. So you'll get paid the most in our plan. So let me go through 6 different aspects of our plan that are important for you to understand. Number 1, anyone can earn money in Love Biome. There's no minimum requirement. So if you just want to refer people, if you're an online influencer, if you want to do affiliate marketing, you don't ever have to build a downline. You get money from simply referring people to the products. And every time they buy, you earn. Number 2, we offer 25 to 40% at the front end of our plan on levels 1 and 2 with no strings attached. We did that on purpose because we feel like most people seem to live in level 1 and level 2 of their organizations. And so we want to reward you for getting customers and building loyalty to our brand. Number 3, we reward you with an 8-level deep unilevel plan. So if you want to work deep, you're going to make a ton of money. We also pay out 60% of all commissionable volume back to distributors with no breakaway, no takeaway from our compensation plan. Number 4, we invented dynamic compression over 30 years ago, and we have a dynamic compression bonus that ensures that no money is ever broken away to the company, but that every commissionable volume dollar is paid to our distributors. Number 5, we incentivize achievement through title bonuses at every single level. So as you stair-step your way up the plan, you're rewarded bigger and bigger and bigger for hitting those titles. Nobody does all of this. And we have a global bonus pool as well that allows you to share in the success of the company worldwide. In a sense, it makes your organization infinitely wide and infinitely deep because you get paid on volume you did nothing for, and you get to share in the success and the spoils of the company. And 6, we offer life-changing incentive reward trips. Our first trip, we took our leaders to Dubai on the most amazing trip, just spectacular. And just recently, we went on the coolest and most amazing Greek cruise that I have ever been on. It was absolutely magical. This is what we want to do. We want to reward you monetarily, and we want you to have lifetime experiences, life-changing experiences here at LoveBiome. That's our compensation plan. And so if you're ready to get going, if you're ready to earn the most money in our industry, if you're ready to help people find their center of health, then please talk to the person that showed you this video and become one of the family. Thank you.
So you heard it from the company themselves. The compensation plan, bar none, is the best in the industry. And you can look at this slide and see that it really is working. Our company is not even 3 years old. And we have individuals in the 100K club, in the 250K club, the 400K club, the 750K club. And I can tell you these numbers are not up to date. So it's even more than that. And honestly, when you look at the numbers, you see dollars. I see the world needs to know how to be healthy. There's a lot of sick people out there. And the things that I mentioned, our current medical facilities are not solving problems. They're putting Band-Aids on them. So to be able to create income like this from Alkaline Pastor John and Dr. Tamia Bethia Williams and Macasey and Nika and Nick and Judy, and here in the middle is myself. Again, I don't look at it as like, oh, look at me, I made so much money. I say, look at me, we're helping a lot of people improve their health, impact their health. So the choice is yours. You could build a business. You don't have to work 9 to 5. You can make 1,000, 10,000. And here's the key, simply by inviting people to hear the information. Let them hear a presentation. So you do have to make a decision. Do you want to be a customer? Then ask how to get the right price. And if that's your decision, that's a great decision. The other decision is maybe I want to be a member. I want to not only use the products, I want to get them at the best price, but I want to help people. I want to help my family. I want to become financially free. I want to travel the world. Well, you sign up as a member. In the UK, it's 20 pounds. So it's not cost prohibitive. In the US, it's $25 to have your own business. Now, it's not get rich quick. It's not something for nothing, but we teach and train and coach you how to build this business and you can have success. And we're obviously having a lot of success helping people. So last statement, Richard Branson said it best. If somebody offers you an amazing opportunity, but you're not sure you can do it, that was me. I don't have this as my background. I worked in corporate banking. So I looked at it. It was amazing. I said yes, but I didn't know how to do it. I learned later. For $25, it's okay to take some time to learn. It's an earn as you learn opportunity. So we shared the information because we believe everyone needs to know. And then it's up to you. It's up to your brain to make a decision about what you want to do with what you know. Knowledge is out there. Wisdom is applying that knowledge. So what I want to do at this time is take like maybe 7-8 minutes If you have a question, we'd love to entertain your question. If you have a testimonial, we would love for you to be willing to let us into your private life. Take 60 seconds or so. It doesn't have to be elaborate. For instance, my testimonial. I used to eat ice cream every single night. If I was given it, I would say, my name is Valencia Pomfil. I live in the state of Delaware in the United States. I used to eat ice cream every single night. And then one day my husband said to me, you haven't been buying ice cream. And it was at that point that I realized I wasn't craving it anymore. So using the product, the Daily 3, and perhaps even the Phyto Power B, my sugar cravings have dissipated. It doesn't mean I don't love sugar, but I don't crave it and have to have it the way I used to. So if you'd be willing to share your testimonial in that fashion, we would really appreciate it. Just raise your Zoom hand. Let me find out, Miss Marie Washington, are you in a position? Well, you raised your hand, so let me call on you first. Go right ahead. Marie Washington, can you unmute?
Oh, okay. I thought I was. I'm sorry.
No
Good
problem.
morning, good evening, good afternoon. I'm Marie Washington from Charleston, South Carolina, in the United States. I have so many different testimonies. Sometimes I don't even know where to begin. But I will share my sister-in-law. I gave her she got the sugar blocker, and she got the hydration. She was going on a 12-day cruise, and she told me that she always get dehydrated on the cruise. And then she's a diabetic. My husband, mother and father had 11 children, and so just about all of them are diabetics. And so she took the sugar blocker, and she took the hydration. And she said she didn't, matter of fact, she only took 2 of the hydrations. And the whole time on the cruise, she said she didn't have any problem at all with being dehydrated. So that's just one. And then both my husband and my daughter, they are diabetics as well. My daughter Alexis, A1C went from 11 to 7 on these products. She absolutely loves the Phyto Power. That's the one that she tributes the whole Daily 3, but the Phyto Power, if you would ask her what was her favorite, she would say the Phyto Power. She contributes that to her numbers coming down to where they are today. So thank you for allowing me to share.
And thank you very much for sharing. Let me find out, is there anyone else that would be willing to share their testimonial with the audience? It could greatly benefit those who are listening as guests. So if you can, just raise your Zoom hand and we will call on you, unmute you. Ms. Cynthia DeSing, I just unmuted you. Could you share your testimonial with us?
Good night, good day, good afternoon, wherever you are. My name is Cynthia Dancing. I am from Durham, Ontario, Canada. I'm 73 years young, and I do feel it. I am like a 40-year-old, and I praise God for Love Biome because I used to suffer terribly with tinnitus. For years, I suffered. And when I found out there's no cure, there's no help, as the doctors would say, and I did some research and I found out there were millions of people who suffer with this. I had to put stoppers in my ear to sleep, and it never allowed me to sleep. I have to figure out which side to turn. Well, I wanted to say, since I started to have this balance product in my system, which is Love Biome, that have disappeared and gone forever. And forever. I don't suffer with it anymore. And because of that, it's also helped me to overcome my food allergies and my seasonal allergies. And I'm no longer taking puffers, asthma puffers. So thank you for allowing me to share. I am blessed to have a family who has love, and the product name is Love Biome. Thank you, all the ones who have allowed us to know about this product. Thank you, Valencia. I appreciate you.
Oh, thank you so much, Cynthia, for sharing. And before we conclude, is there anyone that has a question that we could entertain before we conclude? And again, just raise your Zoom hand if you do. All right. Well, if we have no questions, again, get back to the person who invited you. First thing I want you to do is thank them. They cared enough about you to share. And then next, decide what you want to do. All of us, all intelligent human beings, They want good health. And this is the scientific way. This is factual way to make that happen. So I will let you all know that we're having another presentation this evening, East Coast time at 8 p.m. So if you're available and you have guests that you'd like to bring, feel free to do so. Of course, that primarily applies to the United States. But at this point, I will turn it over to our co-host, Ms. Angela Baptiste, for conclusion. Angela, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Mrs. Panfield, for such a powerful, informative presentation, as usual. You know, every time I hear this information, I know for sure that we're in the right company at the right time with the right products, with the very perfect products, I would say. My name is Angela Baptiste, and I'm a naturopathic nutritional therapist by profession. And I have no hesitation whatsoever in recommending the Love Biome products to my clients, colleagues, friends, and family. And that's because the scientific evidence is extremely rigorous in backing up the health benefits and effects of our products. In fact, microbiome health is the missing piece of the jigsaw puzzle in most people's health regime, because we are indeed in the era of microbiome health. So get back to the person that introduced you to the presentation tonight so you can find out how you can get some of our amazing products, because without phenomenal health, there is misery. And I wish you optimum phenomenal health. And thank you for attending this evening. And I look forward to seeing you on future presentations and in trainings. Thank you very much.